Scottish headgear. What are you talking about? It's English. Telling ye, it's Scottish headgear. They're taking it heavy on the whiskey. It's English. Same to you on the brandy. It's Scottish. You must be tired. It's English. Ha ha, it's Scottish and you know it. Hello, history people. Today's subject, we're going to be talking about headgear in the the early to mid Victorian era. Now, the winners of today's contest sure is brave. And the winner is, well, you guessed it, it's Scotland. Roll the intro. My fellow history people, let's answer one of your questions. What is up with the English stealing the Scottish men's headgear? Well, probably style. I mean, look at the Kilmarnock. I think that's how you pronounce it, bonnet. Don't forget the Glengarry. And for a while there, up until the 1860s, it was the official undress hat of the British Army. Actually, that's not true. Though the Kilmarnock bonnet remained in service in the British Army till the 1860s, the Glengarry preceded it. I think bringing it to the end in the 1880s when the bush cap and the forage cap were adopted. Blue and checked white and red for the Scottish, green for the riflemen, and I think for the rest of the British Army it was just plain blue, with the regimental numbers in brass on the front of the bonnet. Now this can also be known as the Hummel bonnet. Sounds weird to me too. Now, the Kilmarnock bonnet was originally a Scottish traditional headdress, but it was adopted by the British Army. Obviously for style, if you know what I mean. Foot really hurts, so I'm gonna stop showing you recordings of me while I'm talking and start showing you pictures of Kilmarnock and Glengarry caps. So you won't be seeing me till the end. Bye. As I said before, the Kilmarnock bonnet was the undress hat of the Scottish regiments from 1840s up until the 1860s. Now, after that, it was replaced with the Glengarry, originally a folded Kilmarnock. Now, the Kilmarnock bonnet got its name from the city it was manufactured in. I'm sure you've seen it in any Crimean War pictures that you have seen before. Now, if you look close at this bonnet, you'll see a lot of cool things, like how there's green at the crosses of red, but it's also very different than the Glengarry, as you can see. It has blue at the crosses. We're going to talk about the undress hat of the Scottish units. Then we'll have to talk about the bearskins, the full dress. I know, this might get a little ranty, but let's do it. Now, as you can see here, the bearskin had a checked in white and red, like stripe around it, and just like the Kilmarnock, and had a huge bearskin hangover, as you might see more clearly in this photo. Sometimes it even had a white plume. Now, I know this looks awesome, and it is, but it's also very impractical. It does keep you warm, but imagine trying to fight in that thing. So that's why there had to be undress uniforms. This they'd wear on parades. Another hat such as the Kilmarnock, or even they use these hats sometimes for battle, and the Kilmarnock for marching or camp duties, which there were a lot of. Now this headdress long preceded the Kilmarnock bonnet, whereas to some degree this is the dress hat of the Scottish regiments today. The Kilmarnock bonnet fell out of favor since the 1860s. That we've talked about the dress hat of the Scottish regiments, now let's talk about the similarities and differences between the Kilmarnock and the Glengarry. Probably the clearest difference between the two is the Glengarry's pointed shape. Looks kind of like a side cap, don't you think? Well, as I said earlier, this came from soldiers folding their Kilmarnock bonnets. And so came the Glengarry. Another thing that you might notice is the Glengarry has two black ribbons coming down. Well, that is how you tighten the hat. You see that the Kilmarnock bonnet doesn't have that. Another thing that you might notice on the Glengarry is the bow. Well, I can't really explain that. I think it's just decoration, as the Glengarry seems to be more decorated than the Kilmarnock bonnet. Another thing you might be able to see, if you can't see it on the screen, I'll alterate it, is that it has a pom-pom on the top. Now, this is something that the Kilmarnock bonnet sometimes had too, but it was very rare for it to have it and was definitely not regulation. Something you might also notice is that, well, you can't notice on this one, but if you look up Glengarry and to go into pictures, that the Glengarry has a silver cap badge, except at least for military ones. Well, that again is a product of their being more decorated than the Kilmarnock bonnet. So, as you can see, it's kind of a better design. The thing that preceded the Kilmarnock was the feathered bonnet, which was basically a Kilmarnock with a couple, by the looks of this picture, hundreds of ostrich feathers to make it look like a bearskin. Sometimes with a sunshade put on, like a cape. So, this is getting a little bit on other topics. So, let me conclude. The British stole headgear from the Scottish. The Scottish wore their headgear until now, which it's more of a dress uniform than a undress uniform. They wore it in World War One, World War Two, and they do today into combat. So, to conclude all of this, English stole a lot of headgear from the Scottish. If we like this topic so much, then ask me to make another video on Scottish headgear down in the comments below. So until next time, goodbye, remain non-Forby.